I had two meet weekends back to back and first two competitions since my shoulder surgery. So that felt really good. Ripped that Band-Aid off. Today is actually my 1 year anniversary from getting my shoulder surgery. So it's a big day and I feel really good about where everything's at. So
How did it feel just to kind of get back out there and compete again?
the first routine was definitely very nerve-wracking. I don't know. It's like riding a bike. You get back up there, and as soon as you start going, it's fine. But leading up to it, it's like, man, I couldn't help but think that it's been a year and a half since my last competition, and in between that, I had a surgery. I wasn't training for a good portion of time, and um, like there's a big gap there. So leading up to that first routine, I was definitely nervous. But then once I got going, it was like riding a bike.
Yeah, and how's it kind of like, starting with these smaller competitions, then leading up to Winter Cup and so on, like pacing yourself, adding new skills in and all that?
Yeah, I think competing is a skill in and of itself. I think like getting our first meet done in Sarasota was really nice because we had a lot of control over, what event we start on and where like we got to see the venue well before the competition and we knew what the equipment was going to be so we could prepare for it. And I got to sleep in my own bed and do all that kind of prep. So that was like kind of the perfect first competition back. I got to control a lot of the variables. And then H&I last weekend, first time traveling for me in a long time, and remembering to pack my grips and make sure I had the snacks that I need for the competition. And it's funny because like I used to be so on top of like, okay, these are the snacks that I eat throughout the meet at this time. This is my meal in the morning. This is what I eat, around lunchtime or late early afternoon. And it was just like kind of all coming back to me like as I was going through the process of getting ready for the competitions. So I feel like it was really good to get two competitions under my belt before Winter Cup, just so that I can kind of recall all those little things that I used to do to prepare myself for the day.
As you look into Winter Cup, what's kind of the goal there? Would you like to do any international assignments? I know they got a whole bunch of opportunities for you guys after that. So what's
Yeah.
kind of the goals you get head into there?
Yeah, I think really my only goal is just to go out there and show that, I still can compete with the best of them. It has only been a year since the injury, so I think like while I might not be at my very peak yet, I think, I'm getting close to at least to where I was before. And I know, before I took that break, I was very competitive. So I feel like my goal is just to go out there and put on the best performance that I can. Um, and I guess compete at the level that I've been training. I think if I can do that, then I'll have good chances of getting to go to some assignments and representing Team USA again. So yeah, besides that, I think just going there, competing well, being in control of my routines and my skills, being in control of my mentality and how I approach the apparatus, um, and just kind of being a professional, like getting back into what I was doing, leading into Paris.
Yeah. Well, kind of take me through that injury and the process of coming back and then getting back into the gym and getting your skills back, just take me through that process.
Yeah, well, the injury itself happened a long time ago. It's very common for male gymnasts to get like labral tears, and I guess even women's gymnasts too get them. But I was dealing with it. I think I had it first diagnosed in like 2018. So I kind of stretched it as far as I could. And then the year of Paris, I had like two or three injections in my shoulder just to keep it like, semi calmed down for big competitions. And that's kind of when I knew, like, okay, I've had three injections this year. It's still not, doing anything. After the season's over, I know I'm going to have to get a surgery.
Yeah.
So after Paris was over, um, I went on the Gold Over America tour, and my shoulder just kept getting worse and worse. And then shortly after that, I got in touch with Dr. Camp up at the Mayo Clinic. Um, and he squeezed me in early February. I flew up the night prior, got my surgery, flew back the same day so I could still have the nerve block in place for my flight so it wouldn't hurt. Um, and then from then on, I think I was, at the gym meeting with our physical therapist like 2 or 3 days later. And it was just light range of motion, nothing too crazy. And then once the stitches healed, or once the wounds closed, then it's like, you're really pushing the range of motion. You're starting to, lift your arm or at least support yourself without a sling. I remember being really scared of because the surgery that I got anchors your bicep tendon to your humerus, like your upper arm bone. So I remember like the first time that I fully extended my arm, I was like so nervous that the tendon was gonna like pull out of the anchor. And it's just funny looking back at that now because I'm like doing ring strength every day and like really pushing myself to get back in shape. But yeah, so you go through those really early stages, and then it's just rehab, range of motion, rehab, range of motion. And then I think early May is when I started to be cleared for like light tumbling on tumble track. Um, and then I really wasn't like training solid during that time either. I was kind of think I was in 3 or 4 days a week, just kind of playing around on tumble track and trampoline, doing my rehab, all the boring work. And then September 1st is when I actually started training again. Like I was back on a training plan. And those first couple weeks were brutal. I was, doing my best to keep up with the numbers and to try to stick to the assignment, but it felt like every day there was something new that popped up, whether it be like my wrist would flare up and my elbow would flare up, and then I'd have a short landing and my back would be tweaked, and then my ankle swelled up, and it was just all these like little speed bumps along the way to being, I guess, somewhat fully recovered. Um, and then, yeah, ever since then, I've just been like grinding to get back into routine shape. I think this is probably, well, I mean, I guess it's not like that fast of a lead up, but to me, it felt really fast because it's like every single week you're doing something new, something in addition to what you were doing the previous week. And then you have something that sets you back, and then you have to find a way to like rest it, but continue to push. So it's just kind of all been a blur since starting back up in September. I've just been going, going, going. Um, but I would say, you know, as far as the recovery process went, I don't think it could have gone any smoother. Like everything pretty much went exactly to plan. I didn't have any super major hiccups except for, like I said, little flare-ups here and there. But yeah, I think that whole process just went by so quick, and here I am getting ready for Winter Cup in a couple weeks. It's crazy.
When did you say you got the initial surgery again?
February 4th, 2025. So exactly a year ago. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, take me back a little bit to 2024. I know a lot of people maybe not expect you to be competing still in 2026. So kind of just take me through your mindset and like how early after Paris did you kind of decide, okay, I'm not done yet. I want to go another year. I want to keep going.
Yeah, I think when I was on tour, that was kind of when I started, you know, I guess playing with the idea a little bit more. Um, I was like pretty dead set on retiring after Paris. I've been talking about it all year, how this is like my final push, and we'd have like our last hard week in the gym before Olympic trials, and like, oh, it's my last hard week ever. My last time doing rolling basics ever, the last time I compete a high bar routine, like, but then being on tour, I just had fun with gymnastics a little bit, and I haven't really had fun with the sport in a while. So getting to like put on a show for people as opposed to like competing for a spot on the Olympic team, and I don't know, I think just my whole perspective on like competitive gymnastics has shifted a little bit to where like I'm not really back in it to like it's not like I have this burning desire to win an Olympic medal and accomplish 25 more things before I'm done. Like I'm satisfied with my career, but there's that part of me that's like, I have more potential. I can be a better gymnast than I was before. And the feeling that I had at Olympic trials of like winning day two, the single most important competition of the entire quadrennium, uh, besides the Olympics, competing like that just like reinforced this idea in me that like I'm capable of so much more than I may tell myself at times. And I think like the challenge now for me is just, chasing that previous version of myself that was able to go out and be the best all-arounder in the country on that day. Um, and yeah, my purpose and my goal, my drive right now, is just to be the best gymnast that I've ever been. That's the primary motivator. And I think if I do that, then more accolades and hopefully world championships and Olympic teams, hopefully that comes along with it. Um, and yeah, I think if I just put my head down and, go to the gym every day and try to be better than I was the day before, I think I'll be in good shape.
Is LA something you're kind of ready to commit to, or is it just kind of taking it year by year?
I mean, I think in the beginning I was taking it year by year. I said, I'll come back for Winter Cup and then play it by year after that. At this point, I'm like committed to the whole year because I'm like, okay, well, rings isn't where I'd like it to be right now. I'm kind of scraping by on rings just to, pick up an all-around score. So I'm like, okay, I probably need a couple more months to at least get to where I was, prior to the injury. Um, and I think like it's always a year by year thing. But mentally, I'm pretty committed to LA. I feel like it's only 2 years away. I'm just getting back into it. 2 more years of grinding and pushing through, those tough days in the gym. Like that does not. 2 years goes by so quick, especially when you're 27 years old. It's increasingly less and less of a percentage of your life. So I know by just from experience that 2 years goes by in a flash. So I feel pretty confident that, I'm committing to, the rest of the quadrennium. Um, but yeah, obviously things can happen and different circumstances might lead to a change in decision. But as it stands now, I'm committed to seeing this through.
You talk about everything that happened at Olympic trials, and you just had kind of the meat of your life and the home crowd surrounding you, and it was just such a great moment to see you go out there and hit the way you did. What was that like to have that audience behind you every step of the way and just compete the way you did?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the best way I can describe that feeling is I just felt like I was unstoppable. Like the level of fitness that I had, the proficiency over my gymnastics in each apparatus that I was competing in, my consistency, my mentality, like my mental approach and my confidence, it's just never been higher. So, you take that and you throw out like a 12 for 12 performance at Olympic trials in front of a home crowd, in front of 18,000 people, it just amplifies all of that. So I don't know. I felt like a superhero those few days, and no matter what happens with the rest of my career, I'll cherish that moment for the rest of my life.
Tell me a little bit about Evo. I feel like even in the 1 year you've been gone, that gym like keeps transforming in certain ways. Like now you got even more guys that were there than when you were there in 2024 and everything. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's so cool to see more and more people going over there and obviously so much success in 2025 with Brody and Steven in 2024. Just year after year, you guys like get more accolades. So what's it like training with those guys every single day and just having that kind of level of talent surrounding you?
Yeah, I think environment is everything. I think the people you surround yourself with and the guys that you train alongside play a very big part and a big role in the level that you're able to reach yourself. So I think training alongside Brody leading into Paris and Steve and now even like Donnell, like everyone trains a little bit differently. There's always something you can learn from each other, and also just seeing the level of gymnastics in the gym, like every single day I'm exposed to, world champions and world finalists on almost every single event. Um, and, multiple. time Olympians as my coaches and Olympic team head coaches. And it's like, it's around you every single day when you're training. So it's a really good motivator. And even like the young guns coming up, like we got Josh Carnes there now and Daniil Lakin, and we got there's a lot of guys at Evo now, and the level of gymnastics there is just continuing to go up as time goes on. It was always our goal to get up to 10 people on the squad, and leading into Paris, everyone kind of like I think I went there in 2022, so that was already like technically halfway through the quad. Um, and around that time, people are pretty committed to staying where they're at. And then now that we have like a full quad to build up, it was, pretty natural that guys were graduating, looking for their next place to train. And a lot of them decided to come down to Evo because, there's not a ton of opportunities in college when you're, a post grad. Most teams get like, one spot as like a volunteer assistant coach where they can kind of, train on the side and coach and travel to competitions and stuff. But the access to like medical staff that we have, our we train down in Florida, or we train down at Evo as professional athletes. Not student athletes, not anything like that. Like we are professional athletes. It is our job to be the best at gymnastics that we can possibly be. And I think just that kind of approach, you know, motivates a lot of guys to come down here and try to experience what it's like to train that way. Uh, because I think by training that way, you become the best gymnast that you possibly can become.
Yeah. Well, it's also been cool to see the last couple of weeks you guys have actually got to compete as a team. But does it kind of
Yeah.
feel like that every week in the gym and every meet you guys go to, even when it's not an actual team competition, that you guys are kind of like a unit?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of inter squads and a lot of like simulated competitions in the gym. And now that we have 10 guys, it's like we can put teams together and kind of battle it out. And we have our own little point system that we do, like based off of like difficulty and all that, just to kind of, give everyone an equal chance of, or both teams an equal chance of winning. And then it's like a competitive thing. It's based off of like, okay, if this guy slams a routine, he gets a point. If he sticks, he gets another point, because it's all relative, right? Like my difficulty is going to be different than Brody's, but you still want it to be like competitive within the team. So now you're not just competing for a score, you're competing for like how well you're hitting your routine. Um, so we've been doing that, basically since November, early November, late October, or when was our first inter squad? I want to say it was prior. I think it was early November was our first official inter squad, but basically since then we've just been every single week we have our inter squads and we go up against each other, and it's very fun and very motivating.
If you took yourself back to the Tokyo Olympics, would you have ever expected that one of your teammates would be one of your coaches one day?
I no, no way. I did not see Sam becoming a gymnastics coach, but he's really in the last couple of years developed himself into a really, really good gymnastics coach. I think his like superpower is the fact that like he knows exactly what we're feeling, whether we're having like a tough day in the gym or struggling with a skill, or we're feeling super tired and we got to push through a long day, or if you're at the Olympic Games and you're getting ready to salute for your team, or you're at Olympic trials trying to make the Olympic team. Like he's been in every single one of those positions. So he does a really good job of just like, communicating to the athletes and kind of getting a pulse on, how they're feeling, how they're doing. And I don't know, he just has a way of making everyone feel a little happier, a little calmer, a little more cool, calm, collected kind of thing. And he's also done every single skill that we do and mastered almost every single skill that we are doing. So having that in our back pocket is really awesome.
Well, I gotta say, I've really enjoyed the little YouTube series you have going on there, and I'd like to see like the inside look of because it's you, but it's also everybody surrounding you. It's been really fun to watch. But
Yeah.
tell me about, that idea, how what kind of led you to starting that?
Yeah, I mean, I was so like in the year that I took off and throughout my recovery process, I just I just did not do a good job of like documenting everything and, maximizing like the social media output during that time. I kind of just needed that time to like recover mentally myself. And then when I started doing gymnastics again, like actually training again, it was like, okay, I don't want to forget this time. Like I don't want to forget what those first couple days were like when I was getting back into things. And honestly, it's kind of more uh, for me. Like when I look back in the future and I look back at these times, like I get to watch what one of those practices were like when I was coming back. Um, and I intend on like continuing to do this like once a month, and it's just kind of a fun thing on the side. And there's always some good content you can pull from those for socials and stuff. So I think it really just started as a way for me to kind of document my next couple of years leading up into LA and to remember these times because looking back at the lead up to Paris, like, I wish I had more footage of like, not just like the training highlights, but, like the interactions in the gym and the responses from the coaches and the feedback and all that. Like just being able to kind of experience that in the future, I think will be really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna need some like meet weekend vlogs or travel vlogs or something coming up
I
too.
know. I know it's so tough. Like, when I'm getting ready for a meet, like I don't know if you watched they had a live stream up for H&I on Michael Giroux's TikTok, and they're all like talking to the camera and they're all like, yo, Chad, what's up? And I'm just sitting there like trying to like, do my breathing exercises, visualize my routine. Like when I'm getting ready for a meet, I'm pretty locked in and zoned into the task at hand. And I don't know, a lot of these guys, it just comes so natural for them to like compartmentalize all that and like, oh, talking to chat, and then 3 minutes later doing a triple back on floor. Like, I don't know if I'll be the best person to do those travel vlog style things, but I know there's plenty of guys on the Evo squad now that they're gonna get plenty of content over the course of the next few years. So
Oh yeah. It's almost like a requirement to be a gymnast nowadays. Like you got to be some sort of content creator. Like I feel like everyone's doing it.
I know, dude, it's crazy. And that's like honestly kind of the my weak point in all this. Like yeah, it's just tough. Like when you're training and you're trying to, bury your head in the work and you always forget like that's kind of part of it. Like,
Yeah.
posting on socials and the brand deals and stuff, like that's part of it. Um, so it takes a lot of effort for me, but I'm working on it. I'm working on trying to get better at it. But yeah.
I know I saw a tweet today with all the Winter Olympians. I saw something that was like, this is like the first time these athletes have ever posted anything with like all like their vlogs and like unboxings
Yeah,
and everything. It's like because everybody's just posting stuff now if you're there.
I know. I don't, I mean, maybe it's just, the pre-2000s kid in me that's just not quite there yet, but it just feels like that part is like I don't know, like when I'm there, like if I'm at the Olympics, I just can't imagine like lugging around a camera and like talking to a camera like I'm thinking about what my next meal is gonna be. Like I just don't have enough bandwidth upstairs to deal with all that. But some people, like I said, it just is natural. Like it's not really, it doesn't take effort for them to multitask like that. So maybe it's just the unk in me.
Oh, kind of last couple questions here. Who was kind of your support system through recovering from injury, through that kind of post-Paris time as well?
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend took a lot of that. I mean, she was, cooking every single meal for me and helping me, uh, you know, get dressed in the morning and, shower at night in the early days and driving me to practice. And, my mom also flew out and helped a few times and she stayed with us and took care of me. And, my physical therapist, Steve, he was seeing me almost every single day for months and months and months, just doing the same stretching and rehab and range of motion. And because I was in the gym, I was hanging out with a lot of the coaches and a lot of the athletes and a lot of the parents and, just really kind of immersing myself in the community as opposed to just being locked into training. So it was, I don't know, it was like, I would say like, just kind of getting to enjoy the community and getting to know the parents and working with more athletes like that kind of got me through the thick of it mentally, just kind of being able to take a deep breath and hang out in the gym as opposed to like getting to work. Um, but yeah, my girlfriend did so much for me. It's crazy. Like I look back at, I even had like I had this recliner where it would like stand you up. So it would lay you completely flat and then it would even like get off the floor and like dump you out of the chair. So I would like, get in that chair in the beginning of the day and then Lucy would bring me lunch and I would get out of the chair to go to the bathroom and I'd go back to the chair and I'd be playing video games and she'd make me dinner and drive me to practice and all that stuff. Like she was just kind of doing all the dirty work and yeah, so bless her heart. She really did a lot for me. So, yeah.
I know in your last vlog you're working on the Lucan on high bar. You've been working on some other skills. Where are you kind of putting up in upgrades for Winter Cup or even saving stuff for later down the year?
Yeah, I think I'm saving a lot of the bigger stuff for later down the year. I think getting out there and not really like risking anything, like doing things that like the gymnastics that I was doing in 2024, like the start values are, still competitive even in this code, with obviously some minor adjustments here and there. But I think right now I just want to go out and have a successful meet. And then in the future, I'll try a little harder to get that Lucan in. It was weird. Like as soon as I got back from break, the Lucan kind of took a dip in consistency, but I have a couple routines under my belt, so I still have that in my back pocket. But for now, I think I'm just going to focus on, executing what I can do well, and just not adding any additional variables into the mix, at least for this meet. And then championships, hopefully, I'll be able to add quite a bit back in. There's a bunch of skills I've been working, like giant Diom on P bars and Lucan on high bar and connecting Kovacs Coleman on high bar. Like there's a lot of things that I'm working on or that are like in the works, but just nothing I want to quite risk at my first major competition back.
You like the 8 skills scale on floor? You like those changes or how you
I
feeling about
love the 8 skills. I was doing 10 skills since I was like 12 years old. I mean, I can't remember the year that they changed it, but it was like the year or two after I left JOs or like the junior ranks. They switched to 8 skills in the junior, and then now, at the tail end of my career, they switched to 8 for senior too. And it's just like, man, I was doing 10 skill routines my entire career, and even these 8 skill routines are challenging. Like I get to the end and I'm still gassed. I'm like, there's no way that I could do this with 10 skills anymore. It's just so much. So I
it?
like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the floor changes just because it's like I don't know, like and it was the same in the last code, but like it's just crazy to me that like 2.5 front layout gets a 10th in bonus or not bonus, but you get an extra 10th for connection and a 2.5 front fold doesn't, or like a front fold to a Randy doesn't get bonus, but a front fold to a double front does get bonus. I don't know. Floor is just kind of in a weird spot right now. I don't mind the double layout skills. I agree with like I think a double layout is just as hard as a double double. Like there's no way that it should be worth less. We could do it without the scales for sure. I think having like an artistry thing is cool. Like it's good. I like one of my favorite gymnasts of all time is Alexei Nemov, and watching his floor routine, it's just like a gorgeous floor routine, start to finish. Even the transitions. So I like that that's in there. But it's just a little like robotic. Like everyone's kind of doing the same 4 transitions because they're like every transition needs to be different. So then everyone's got like a stag leap, a split leap, a hitch kick, a lunge. Like it's all like kind of the same stuff. So I don't know. I've been working with I don't know if you know who Jackson Harrison is, but
Yeah.
they're one of my teammates, and their routine is gorgeous. Like the transitions, the choreography, it's all like very intentional, and it's like showmanship. So I've been working with them to try to get uh, at least a little bit better, but it's still a work in progress. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jackson's gonna have to give everyone a clinic or something.
I
Get
know. I was saying,
that.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, But I do work with them a lot on um, my transitions and just getting Jackson's thoughts on all of it.